Obviously, our candidates do just about anything for a Klondike bar. All right. We begin our second portion of this debate with the presidential candidates. And first, to my immediate right, is James Akins. James is running with the Focus Party. He is a junior majoring in public administration. Next to him is Samuel Mortimer, running with the Students for a Just University. Samuel is a junior. He is majoring in architecture. And we have Jeff Wilcox running with the Connect Party. Jeff is a junior majoring in enterprise management. And again, gentlemen, thanks to all three of you for joining us today. Let me start with the question, who are you and why do you want to be president? And we'll start with you, James.
I'm James Akins. I am a junior in public administration, like previously stated. I've been a Tennessee fan all my life, and once I came to the University of Tennessee, I got to experience more. I grew up and became the person that I am now, and it's more of a home away from home for me. And I think that I owe it to the university and to all the students to give back as much as I can to make a difference. That's what we like to do, is make a difference.
All right, Samuel.
My name is Samuel Mortimer. Again, I'm a third-year architecture major. I want to be president of the student body because I feel like I am experienced and I have shown I have the ability and the drive to do that. And I think I'm very capable and would function very well in that position.
Jeff.
Jeff Wilcox, junior in enterprise management, like you said. I've been in SGA every year I've been here, and my senior year I really want to make sure it's the best it's ever been. I have great relationships with all the administration, and really feel like the things that we want to do can actually get done next year with me as president.
All right, that's our three candidates for president. Now our panel members, Margaret Menifee with the Volunteer Channel and Kevin Dalby with the Daily Beacon. And Kevin, you have our first question.
Each of you has served a previous term in SGA. Name a specific piece of legislation you presented to benefit the students, or an instance where you demonstrated your leadership.
Samuel, you'll begin.
Well, I guess I'll begin this by, sorry guys, this is a little troubling, but just going back to the apathy within the SGA, there are 75 seats within the SGA, 35 people wrote bills, 59 total bills and resolutions, while by the bylaws, Student Senate bylaws, Article 4, Section 10, if you're interested, requires one bill each semester. That's 150 bills should be coming out of the Student Senate. My opponents did not have one single bill last semester, which should have rendered them not eligible to participate in Senate this semester, and thus far have both only had one bill each this semester. The bills I have submitted this year, probably the most important being living wage. Again, that was a bill that we didn't really get to follow up on for multiple reasons, which Kyle already addressed, I believe. Next biggest ones are that we've been most successful with, at least, are working with environmental issues have been our biggest thing with lead policy and creating an Office of Sustainability, as well as lobbying for the Hope Scholarship for fifth-year architecture students whom I represent.
All right, Jeff?
One of my favorite pieces of legislation that we've ever seen gone through, something that the students really push for, is a piece that I worked on when I was in freshman council. It was dealt with the dining facility, and when we were allotted a certain amount of meals throughout the week, we could use our dining meal equivalency on Saturday night, but not on Sunday. And one of the things that we pushed that was very well received by the students was to change that Saturday night to Sunday, because most people went out on Saturday night, and then they were there Sunday night and wanted to go eat, but they couldn't use their meal equivalency. And that was one of the things that we pushed through, and I think everybody was very happy with.
James.
Well, about the bills, I was actually not elected into Senate. There was an open seat, and I thought that it was my duty to represent the business college as best as I could. So I applied for the seat. I was appointed, and I was trying to learn the ropes at the end of last semester. I did not pass a bill last semester, but I have passed one, and I have two waiting to be voted on currently within SGA. But things that I like to pride myself on that I've done within SGA, I don't really want to pinpoint one thing specifically. I mean, we've worked with bills to improve safety, to improve the aesthetics of the campus, but also I've worked on Government Affairs Committee. I'm the director of the Government Affairs Committee within SGA to help with the HOPE. I have, for the past 2 years, worked with state legislators to improve the situation we have, and we've made progress. We've made a lot of progress, and that's one thing that I like to tell people about is we're working for you. We're here for you, and we'll get things done.
All right, thank you. Now, Margaret.
Okay, guys. Safety seems to be a really big concern right now with students with the spike in crime we saw last semester and a little bit this semester. And it seems like UTPD as well as KPD is kind of pointing fingers at the other person. What would you do to bridge that gap and to kind of hold them, especially UTPD, a little more accountable as far as campus safety?
Jeff, you have 1 minute.
First off, I don't really want to point fingers at UTPD. I think Chief Washington is doing an excellent job in trying to work with Knoxville PD. UTPD is limited with the amount of options they have. They're only allotted so many actual officers to cover 550 acres that UT has on campus. If you put in the fort, which I think most people are concerned about right now, is the fort issue, or most of the crime is happening, most of the violent crimes are happening right now. That's another, it almost doubles the amount of area that the UTP would have to patrol. I know he's working very, very diligently with KPD to try and work with them and see what kind of patrols they can do. And they actually did have a thing where they've started doing joint patrols with a UTPD officer and a KPD officer. Safety is a main concern of ours and one of the main focuses of Connect. And we're actually, I actually had a meeting today about a corridor that's going in the fort. As campus moves further into the fort, we want to make sure that the safety issues are there as well. We don't want to make sure that we leave campus behind and just put people into the fort.
All right, we're going to stop you there. All right. James.
Well, safety is a huge issue. It's one of my biggest proponents because we shouldn't have to worry about things. And that's one thing that the Focus campaign would like to do is promote safety and work with not only UT, because it's not just a UT problem. It's a problem within the city of Knoxville, and more specifically the Fort Sanders area. We've got a great plan for the Fort Sanders Improvement Plan. This 3-point plan actually encompasses law enforcement to work with Knoxville PD and UTPD to have a cooperative effort, a joint effort to make sure that students are safe at all times, that they have the resources that they need, and that they have students behind them to help them out at the same time. I think that our plan that we have waiting to go is something that will really cover some ground across campus and in the fort.
Samuel Mortimer.
All right, well, we have several issues that deal with safety. I'll stick to the more, the ones that have been brought to light recently with the muggings and the violent crimes. I think the biggest issue, and I believe it's more the KPD than the UPD, which we don't have quite as much sway in, is my guess, is that people are afraid after they've been out partying on the weekend to see the police. They're avoiding the police officers because they don't want to get picked up by the police. We've seen, I haven't seen the data on this, but from what I've heard, there's been a violent increase in the amount of parties that have been busted up, the amount of just alcohol citations in general, and I think that the police department are concentrating on the wrong issues. Some further issues that we feel would help address this safety issue is we support a medical amnesty policy in regards to alcohol consumption. This is something we've seen in large campuses such as Clemson University just implemented one several weeks ago, is my guess, because of people dying on campus that they were too afraid, again, afraid of authority, afraid of getting in trouble, and they sacrificed their own safety, and someone died at Clemson. Again, there's a lot more issues regarding the Women's Center, the UT Counseling Center,